What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Poco M8 Pro 5G. Now this starts off 8 gigs 256 for $300. You can get the 512 gigabyte and 12 gigs of RAM version for $359. And then I also have the M8 as well. I'll show you guys in another video. But this one is, kind of their budget, I guess, kind of like mid-range option here, which should be pretty solid. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. All right, so let's get this off. All right, so as always, get some paperwork, SIM ejection tool. And one thing I always like about Xiaomi is that they will give you a case, at least. These days, you just get like a charging cable, that's it. They do give you a nice little case to protect your device. And here's the phone itself. And I actually wasn't expecting to get the charging brick here. So again, this is something that Xiaomi, they do a lot too. So they will give us a charging brick, 100-watt charging brick, very nice. And of course, we have our Type-C to Type-C cable. And let's go ahead and check this out here. So we have some specs here. This thing has a 6,500 milliamp hour battery. That is crazy. So we have the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4, 50 megapixel light fusion, 800 with OIS. It's IP68 dust and water resistant. Very nice. Let's get this out of the bag. So this does have a pretty cool look. I like the kind of like carbon fiber kind of look to it. Kind of reminds me of like, one of those like race cars, the inside of it and the outside. But yeah, so this does have a plastic bag, which will kind of fool you because it feels like kind of like a premium phone for sure here. And it's not super heavy, 206 grams here. Let's go ahead and boot it up. And okay, we do have some power here. Here's our button layout here. Just your standard button layouts, Type-C. Nothing on the sides here. And the kind of interesting thing here is that this actually has a, looks like this has a curved panel here. So that's pretty interesting because most companies, they really have switched to these, just flat screens here. So I'm curious on what you guys think of the, them bringing back the curved panel here, especially for a kind of a budget mid-range device here. So let me go ahead and set this up. Let's talk about the panel here. So it is a curved panel, and it's a pretty big display at 6.8 inches, guys. It's an AMOLED screen, 120 hertz. We also do have HDR10 plus, and this does go all the way up to 3200 nits peak brightness. So it's a pretty nice looking display. Just take it outdoors in direct sunlight, it gets pretty bright, so it's very easy to see. All the colors look pretty nice on here as well too, and it does have a pretty nice resolution as well. It's 1280 by 2772, and then we also have a 447 for the PPI, so all the icons and all the text look very sharp on this display here. Now this does have the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on here, which is nice. Now screen to body ratio is about 89.6%, as you guys could see. It looks pretty good. It's not quite as even as it is on the the bottom. There's a little bit more space here on the bottom, but it does look aesthetically, it's a nice looking panel. It doesn't look cheap or anything like that. So this does not have Android 16 yet. It is running the HyperOS 2, and you will get 4 major Android updates, which is nice. And of course, we're going to have our standard AI features in here. Your circle to search is here. Your Gemini is here. If you hold the button down, you get the Gemini assistant, and there's a few other little AI features here that we can kind of mess around with as well too, which we'll get into. But so far, yeah, it's just your standard Xiaomi OS that we come to know and love here. A lot of people they have mixed feelings about the OS. I think it's gotten a lot better. It's a lot smoother as well. And yeah, I don't really have any issues. The applications that are pre-installed, you can uninstall it, and a lot of people say, you know, ads and stuff like that, but the experience with HyperOS is not really, it's not like there's ads popping up and it's a very intrusive experience. It's a pretty good experience for the most part. Like I said, I really like the animations on here as well. Some of it looks a little bit like iOS, like right here with their control center, but for the most part, I think it looks, you know, pretty good, and the animations and everything look great. And we can actually talk about that real quick. So this does have the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4. This is the score that I get. Now, sometimes with Geekbench, you have to run it like, you know, twice, but this is the first score that I got. Actually, let's go ahead and run 3D Mark. So I'll go ahead and actually just run that. All right, so for your reference, here is the Wildlife Extreme scores here. So we're getting about 5 to 8 FPS. And when it comes to like playing games like PUBG, you can expect to, you know, play at, you know, 60 frames. So far, I haven't noticed any heating issues. I'm really more curious about the battery life on this phone. It's just having such a massive battery at 6,500 milliamps is actually pretty crazy. But play at 60 frames, it feels smooth, so you can definitely, you know, game on here, do some casual gaming, Call of Duty, PUBG, and you know, it's looking like it's performing very well. And just in general, the whole, you know, OS feels very smooth. So again, performance-wise, don't really have any issues with the M8 Pro here. It looks like it's performing, you know, pretty well. So the camera setup is going to be your, you know, kind of standard budget camera setup here. We have a 50 megapixel standard, 8 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot in 4K 30, and then we have a 32 megapixel selfie that shoots in 1080 60. Basically, you're getting, you know, some standard, you know, kind of like budget phone mid-range shots here for the most part. In good lighting, it seems to do a pretty good job with giving us a pretty good amount of detail. It does a pretty good job with color as well. Low light, it can get a little bit soft, but overall, this is what pretty much we expect from, you know, a kind of a mid-range budget phone. I think it takes pretty decent shots. So I'm going to put it against some of the other more popular budget phones, mid-range phones like the A56, 16E, and see how they come out. But yeah, as you guys can see, the shots look pretty decent. I would say the video was probably the most underwhelming thing here. But overall, your standard stills, I think, look, you know, fine. Check out the speakers at max volume. Alright, so these speakers are super loud. I was actually really kind of shocked by how loud the speakers are. Now, are they the best sounding speakers? They sound pretty good, but they are lacking just a little bit of bass compared to like flagship and stuff like that. It's not that the bass is not there. I can still hear the 808s, but I mean, these things are loud. Like, this is crazy loud. I actually have to turn it down a little bit. Yeah, you can hear the 808s. I can't hear the low notes as clearly, but I mean, I'm just still shocked how loud this thing is. Like, this thing is very loud. So it's got volume boost on, so it does a volume boost, so it's 400%. I mean, it's just crazy loud. So I'm actually impressed with how loud the speakers are in here. It's actually, like, again, it is kind of shocking. But the fingerprint scanner on here has been pretty good. I haven't really had any issues with the fingerprint scanner. Now, of course, it's going to be a optical fingerprint sensor, which is fine, but it does work. So as you guys can see, the optical ones, oh, this one is actually pretty fast. So the difference between the optical and the ultrasonic, you can kind of tap them like that. It'll go in. These ones, you just have to apply just a little bit of pressure. It's not like you're applying really a lot. So I think this is actually pretty fast fingerprint scanner for an optical one. Another feature that they have on just these Xiaomi phones in general is going to be the infrared port. as you guys can see, you can use this for TV, set-top box, fans, DVD players, cameras. It is very useful. I use my Xiaomi phones to, use my TVs with, and I absolutely love it. You can use it with appliances, projectors. It's extremely useful instead of shuffling through remote controllers. Just having basically a universal remote with your phone is very useful. I'm not really sure why other companies don't just copy this and put the IR blaster in all the phones, but yeah, it's a very useful feature to have, especially on a budget phone. So I consider that really like a flagship feature because it's just that useful. But yeah, so you do have that capability on here, and this phone, it does have, again, a massive battery that I'm very curious about. It charges really fast, so I'll probably show you guys that. I'm curious on how fast it'll charge from 0 to 100, so might do that for you guys as well. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to keep testing it to see what screen on time you get, but I mean, we're talking about almost 7,000 milliamp hour battery here. And yeah, you have 22.5 reverse wired charging. So what is this missing? Of course, it's missing wireless charging, so it's not gonna have that. So it's to expect with a budget phone, right? I think the phone is very nice. My first impressions of it, it's really cool. I'm curious to see what you guys think of the device. Be sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.